this video, we are going to take an updated look at the 3D Coat Applink for Blender to include support for Blender 4.3 through 5.0 as of 3D Coat build 2025.15. Let's go ahead and get started. In order to utilize the Applink, all we really need to do is enable the add-on within the Preferences panel. Let's look in the Add-ons section, and near the top, you'll see the Applink right there. Just check that to enable it, and you can see the type is a core add-on. If you want, you can save the preferences if you don't already have it auto-saved here. What I want to do is go ahead and select this object. Let's say you have a 3D scan. And as you may already know, when working with 3D scans, there is often a lot of cleanup involved. In this example, I want to send this model to 3D Coat's Sculpt Workspace in order to use the Voxel Sculpting toolset, because voxels are arguably the best platform for this type of task. Before we export our model, we first want to look in the Scene Properties tab under Units of Measure, and we also want to look in the Folders section in the Exchange folder directory in order to specify which location we want to place our models and textures in. Now, allow me to turn your attention to the In panel in the 3D Coat tab. If you click on the list menu, you will be presented with a range of options for various tasks and tool sets in 3D Coat. The first three options will send your model to the Paint workspace. UV mapping, this will send it directly to the UV workspace. Reference mesh is a very old legacy option for sending high poly meshes to 3D Coat in order to use the retopology tools. But the performance is not so good if you need to make any adjustments to the high poly object. So I would suggest instead sending a high poly mesh as a sculpt object. Retopo mesh as a layer. This is sending a copy of your object to the retopo workspace. Mesh as a sculpt object. This sends your object to the sculpt workspace. Now, if I wanted to maintain the textures here, what 3D Coat is going to do is take the UV map texture and bake it onto the vertices via vertex paint. And that's why we need a relatively high poly count, because the more vertices we have, the more resolution we have. Once our cleanup task is complete, we can then choose between two major options. One is to send the model back to Blender as a triangulated high poly mesh with vertex paint in place of UV mapped textures, or we can retopologize or auto retopologize the mesh and bake all the textures down to that lower poly version, and then exporting the resulting mesh back to Blender. Mesh for auto retopology, we would send a high poly mesh to have 3D Coat employ the auto retopology toolset. Okay, so we are going to send our mesh as a sculpt object. When the Send button is no longer highlighted, we know that we can then jump into 3D Coat. All right, I think we're good. I can right-click and choose to snap to the ground. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is a little bit of cleanup work. I'll speed up the playback during the process, and then we want to send it back to Blender. We have all of our color baked into the vertices. I'll hit W to invoke the wireframe. Okay. So now I'm going to create a duplicate copy just in case. That way I still have this original if it's needed for any reason. I'll hide that. And with this volume, just a blank layer, I'll delete it. It's currently in surface mode, so I will click on the S icon in order to switch it to voxel mode. In this case, I'm going to increase the voxel count. About 10 million. Auto close holes. Voxel paint depth 2. I might make that 3. Then I'll click OK. Now, if you come over to the layer panel, layer number 1 has all the color information stored on it. Sometimes I will hide that layer so that I can better see the surface of the model. I'm going to create a new layer. so that if I'm using any surface brushes, I can maintain some of the sculpt layer functionality on this new layer. I think I'll start here in the head region by dissolving some of these artifacts using the Voxel Smooth Brush. I cannot do this with mesh sculpting because all it would do is just smooth but maintain the mesh. With voxels, it will dissolve it because you are effectively either creating or removing volume in 3D space. We can also use the cutoff tool here and go to the E panel and select the freeform draw mode. And with the cutoff tool, we can drag select areas that we know we want to cut away. And I think I'll switch to a voxel brush, something like the airbrush. And I'm going to check invert tool in the toolbar so that it's actually removing volume rather than creating it. And then I'll pick a brush alpha that has a bit of fall off around the edges. I'm going to right click and drag down to decrease the smoothing intensity. I will now switch to the fill tool among the voxel brushes in order to fill in all these small holes. There's also a fill brush among the surface brushes, and it works well in many cases, but I think at times you will find the limitations of filling with a mesh, regardless of whether it's in 3D Coat or other sculpting applications. Sometimes you'll run into self-intersection issues, especially when you are working in very problematic areas of your model. This section of the model is a very good use case because if I were to try and fix this in surface mode using the fill brush or maybe the smoothing brushes, it would not work properly because we have multiple mesh parts that we need to join together cleanly. And yes, you could remesh in any sculpting application to help clean a lot of this up, but there will still be a fair amount of cleanup left to do, as you can see in this example. I will now go back to the voxel fill brush and continue and intermittently use the smoothing brush by holding down the shift key. I'm now switching to the cutoff tool and I'll use the curves in order to generate a spline for a bit more precision. This is a dress shoe and therefore it's not entirely flat on the bottom, so I'm trying to correct that here. I can now hit the enter key in order to cut everything away that's inside that closed spline. Go to my curves tree and hide that curve and create a new one. I'm now switching to the polygonal lasso draw mode in order to make quicker angular cuts. And as a side note, if you prefer, you can hit the E key in order to bring the E panel to you instead of reaching up across the interface each time. And so with the fill brush technique that I try to use, instead of just starting in an open area, I try to start from where there is quite a bit of volume and then I brush toward the opening. So I'm brushing around these holes to fill them in. And once more, for emphasis, this is where voxels rule over mesh sculpting, because this would be a real pain in the butt trying to fix with mesh sculpting. But with voxels, it's not a problem. This would be a good point to stop the video here, and we will pick up and resume in the next one. So stay tuned, and thank you for watching.